Shalom, welcome to Asia Torah, Practical Spirituality, here in the Old City of Jerusalem, overlooking the Temple Mount. Today we're discussing how to dance in the chaos. This was a request from a woman in Scandinavia, or I don't know. I'm not even sure she's Jewish. Sorry if I said that and you are, by the way. I just can't remember because there's just so many people all the time in my life lately. But anyway, but that's the class. Today's dancing the chaos. So just to introduce the subject, there's chaos and order in everything. Chaos and order. So for example, there's 2 seats per table here. She's doing the chaos thing, okay? So she's not sitting in one of those rows, you know. She perfectly gravitated to her little chaotic seat. But the room was set up for order. Okay? This bookshelf was set up for order, and there's some chaos and there's some order over there. And these are things that are happening everywhere. You know, like your body goes into chaos if you don't use soap. You gotta, because the skin dies, and after a while it stinks, and you gotta soap it down and peel off those layers, and you got chaos and order in your own body going on all the time, and your body is constantly in chaos and order because you're assimilating new foods, which is totally chaotic for your body, especially when you're shocking it into different kinds of realities like sugars and stuff, and meaning simple sugars like Coke or whatever that garbage is, and your body, it's sending your body into a momentary chaos, but it tends to make order out of things. Don't drink Coke when you're sleep deprived and maybe coming down with something, but as long as you're feeling strong and you only have one, your body will make order of it. The chaos and order are happening at all times. Now, if you'd like to be in business, well, you better have some order there. But if you want to fall asleep with boredom with your business, keep it that way. But if you want to actually feel excitement, you'll probably wind up expanding your business, or you're going to wind up investing into further investments. We can't help it. We're addicted to chaos. You love chaos. We all love chaos. And that's why everyone in this room wants to get married. Chaos. Think about it. Like, as a single person, you can more or less get your life under control. Get married, you can just spend the rest of your life in chaos. Because 2 people can never get their lives under control. Unless they're both Darth Vader, but rarely do we get, 2 Darth Vaders marrying each other. So you're addicted to chaos, and hence you want to marry. And then, of course, when you get married, you want to have kids, and then you start having kids. Welcome back to chaos, like way beyond the chaos of just being married. And yet all of us desire it. So you should know that chaos is your best friend. You got to start to dance with it. You got to dance in chaos. That's why this class is called Dancing with Chaos, because think what dancing is. What is dancing? It's total chaos. Can you imagine someone walked up to you while you're like at a wedding or a party, and you're like, someone walks up to you and they're like, "What are you doing with your body?" And you're like, "I'm dancing." And they're like, "Stop that." What do you mean? Well, I mean, stop moving your body chaotically like that. You realize we love dancing because we love chaos. And also, tell me, what does alcohol do? More chaos or more order? Chaos. Everyone loves alcohol. I mean, I don't even trust people who don't drink alcohol. So chaos. We love chaos. And I mean, is there a man who would raise his hand that appreciates the speed limit? Speed limits are suggestions. They're suggestion for like the impaired or something. But what they're really saying is that if you crashed at that speed, you may not die. I think that's what a speed limit is. So anyway, we just don't like being told what to do very much. We don't like, we notice every system you've ever been in, you did it your way. Every system you've ever been in, which is one of the reasons, there's a bit of a digression, but one of the reasons I really love Judaism is that I finally met my match, meaning I so did everything my way. I mean, I did everything my way. Like if I went to a school that had rules, I did that my way. And if there was a class that had assignments, well, I did them my way. I did everything my way. I mean, there was nothing I could do their way. I mean, if the usher said, "Go this way, please," I went that way. He's like, "Sir, I just did everything my way. And when I met God in Jerusalem in 1991, I was like, finally, there's something that's like not appropriately done my way, because there's a way, there's a path. It's called halacha. Halacha means the path, the walk. There's a walk you do. That's called halacha. Now, that path is, you can walk that path the way you want to walk that path. But there's a bottom line, where it's kosher or treif. It's either right or wrong. It's either tummy or tahor. Like, there's real distinction that's God-given. And for me, that was a hallelujah moment, of like, finally, a system that's worth listening to. Now, of course, I'm an extremely, what's the term for it? The real term for it is antisocial, but that's misunderstood a lot. Antisocial is, people think it's not the friendly type. That's not me. I'm very friendly. And this is antisocial, meaning societal structure, societal convention. You call those people behind bars who are like that. They're called sociopaths. Yeah. What is a sociopath? It's me without empathy. I have a ton of empathy. I would never do anything to harm a human being or an animal or anything. I was just like in a tent where the last thing we wanted were spiders, but I had to save them and set them free. And I was like setting the spiders free. Meanwhile, we so didn't want spiders in our tent that the best thing would have been to just kill them. But they were like dangling down on creating webs as they lowered themselves towards their victims. And I would just catch them on a little tissue and bring them in. Continue on, little guy. So I'm like a sociopath with empathy, but I'm born to break the systems. I think, when, how we're all made of like Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Avram, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. I think I missed the Yaakov and the Yitzhak part. I got the why don't we break Dad's idols? Yeah, that'd be fun. We'll break Dad's idols. And so, of course, Dad wakes up later to an entirely destroyed workshop, where he makes the idols. So I think I got and the gene pool, somehow I got all of Abraham's genes. And the Yitzchak, which is system. You guys know a little Kabbalah? Gevurah, system. So Yitzchak represents system. That's why Avraham is go with the flow, man. Whereas Yitzchak is like, get with the program. No flow. Yitzchak's not the flow guy. You see everyone interacted with him that way. Like, people didn't have an easy time with Yitzchak. And Yaakov's obviously the balance of them all, which I somehow am not that balanced. But it was a pleasure to meet, I'm done with my digression actually, but I'll just repeat the theme. It's a pleasure to meet a system that's God-given. Because you can actually learn to live in a system. Because you know what, I don't think I danced with chaos. I think I was, I don't know, what's beyond dancing with something? I think I was chaos. That'd be probably the best way to put it. And then meeting Torah gave me the ability to, from now on, I just dance with it. Okay, so you got the idea of chaos and order? Chaos and order clear? Which one you love? Which one you need? Order, very good. The one you love is chaos. Also the fact that you all traveled to Israel. Chaos. I mean, no matter where you go, it's chaos. You leave your home and you go away for a while somewhere, you're making your life chaos, which is the most amazing thing, and it will help you grow more than anything else, because chaos is where things grow. It's how a business grows. You create chaos. You expand it. So the fact that you're all here is chaos. The fact that you came to this class, I mean, I don't know, if some of you probably don't even know who I am, so you don't know what you're doing here, but those who know who I am know I'm going to shake things up. That's what I do. I shake things up. I mean, you know what? I just realized I haven't run my English seminar in 9 months in Israel, and it's today, and I have invites, and I would have totally forgotten. But this seminar, The Possible You, this whole seminar, The Possible You, is just there to like shake you up. It's to take the, the snow, the snow thing where the snow, it's just, it's like a little figurine in there and you shake it. Yeah. So your life is a snow globe. And I actually guide people to shake their snow globes in the Possible You and then just see where it all falls. But it's not random where it falls. It's just that when it finally falls, you become someone named Bezalel. And Bezalel is an amazing guy. You ever heard of the name Bezalel? Bezalel is the guy who built all the vessels of the temple. Wait, you just got to hop this before you go. Ready? Check this out. He's one of my dear Kabbalah students. We learned Kabbalah together. So check this out. Bezalel, it says that God called him into action. Bezalel isn't necessarily a vessel builder. He built all the vessels of the tabernacle. But he's not a born vessel builder. It's not like what he's here to do necessarily, but kind of is, though, when you look at his name. His name is Bezalel. In the shadow of God. That Bezalel is in the shadow of God. What does that mean, to be in the shadow of God? Well, think about shadows for a second. Like when you look at a shadow, like on this board, if I make a shadow on this board, check out how exact it is. Understand? It's like perfect accuracy. Wherever my hand would be God in this case, and the shadows would be him making the vessels. Understand? He's in the shadow of God, meaning just as God instructs, so do his hands move. It's like a key maker. When you get a new key and they put in that little machine, and they use your key as it's clamped in, and then they take the new key and clamp it in, and then they just move a little thing that grinds it away. But it's like exact. It's exact. That's Bezalel. And he was given a special gift called Chochmah, Bina V'das. And I'm not going into what that is right now. But he went into Chochmah, Bina V'das. He got that in order to be Bezalel in his work. So anyway, that's when I say I shake your snow globe up, my job is to shake your snow globe up so that when all the snow falls, you wind up being Bezalel. That you're just a vessel of whatever's calling you into action. And a lot calls us into action. But what happens when you get called into action? You're like, I don't know if that's for me. And so we're going to tie all this in with chaos, but I just wanted you to hop that one part. Got that, Kesem?
Got it.
Kesem Yosef? Yeah? Okay. So, anyway, so just telling the English men here that 6:30, it starts in the center of town. And I can WhatsApp you directions how to get there. I didn't tell you about this, Peter.
I thought it was in March.
Yeah, you got a flyer. They accidentally printed the March seminar in February. Anyway, if you're in Israel and I'm running this, like this is the first time in 9 months, and the next one might be in like never, because I run it for Israelis. This is Israel. It's in Hebrew, and I run it in Hebrew. So in America I run it in English. But in Israel, I run it in Hebrew. So this is men's, by the way. But ladies, maybe you know a man. Maybe you know a man. Anyway, that's going to be at 6:30 this evening. Highly suggested you show up there. And if you're in the A student body, which means intermediate and up, you have to get permission to go. If you're in intermediate and up, from Rabbi Rossman. But good luck. Yeah. What do you think the head of Eshet Torah's study hall's interested in, chaos or order? Yeah. And this seminar is built for chaos. It's built for you to dance in ways you never danced before. So that and you know what my job is ultimately, which is why I feel so bad for this guy, anyone who would think that a boy shouldn't be at such a seminar, is that you're going to have hell to pay. You have hell to pay, literally hell to pay, if you declined roles, hats to wear in life, because you just felt, well, that's beyond me, you know, or what would they say, or like, what if it fails, or you know, like, well, that would be that would really be an insecure, you know, role to play, or what might happen if I played that role. And then you get upstairs and God's like, yeah, you know what would have happened? You would have played the role and the world would have been a better place for it, because I was running the show the whole time. I only offered you the role because I wanted to give you the chance to play a role in this world. But you spent your whole life scared to death of your own shadow. Because you might get rejected, or you might fail, or maybe you'd feel insecure, or maybe there'd be some unknowns thrown into the chaos equation. But everything good comes out of chaos. Everything good. Everything good. If you went to a game, like a basketball game, football game, NFL, NBA, and everything went orderly, you know, you just, like, there's an interception and the refs blow a whistle because interceptions are, you know, it's wrong. It's not their turn. Okay, you intercepted it, okay. So it's third down, right there. No, it's not. It's their ball. And then he's running with it. And now the game's been thrown into chaos. And all those men betting, which is like most of them, are now about to lose their shirts in the middle of this interception. And they're all like, no. And then there's another half the men, because they set the odds, so half are going to go for each team. And they're just going, yes. And why are they betting? Because they love chaos. I just asked a bettor who's already been through the whole, what's called Gam-anon. You know what Gam-anon? Gamblers Anonymous. So I met a man who'd been through all the Gam-anons, you know, and I was watching a game with him. And I was like, I was just noticing he's a little too interested in what's going on there. And I finally looked over and I'm like, did you bet this game? And he gets this terribly guilty look on his face. I mean, this guy almost lost his marriage. He almost lost everything. You know, really bad. And he gets this guilty look in his face, and he looks at me and he goes, $50. He says, but that's my limit. I never bet more than $50. I'm like, every game? I mean, this guy doesn't stop watching games. He's like, maybe. And I said, why? After everything you've been through, why? And he says, makes it more interesting. Which is what we've been saying, is that you need chaos. You need to be able to lose something. If you can't lose anything, you're not living. You haven't risked nothing yet. You got to be able to lose something. Order is how to make sure you lose nothing. Chaos is how you got to lose something. You may lose something. That's the spice of life. And God created it that way. Now, you'd never know that if you only deal with people called, their title, I think, is Minahel. Yeah, it has something to do with hell. Okay? Minahel, from hell. Yeah, if your job is Minahel, whether it's a Minahel of a warehouse or a Minahel of a factory, it means manager. Or a Minahel of a school, or a Minahel of anything. So that guy was handpicked for order. He was handpicked for order. And by the way, what's amazing is you know what God's sense of humor is? It's amazing. God's sense of humor is every orderly place that has one of these Minahels on top, whose job is to keep the order of it, they always rot. They always rot. They rot from inside. They all rot. Every country that that had tried to make too much order, the people revolt, huge revolutions. Everyone's dying. It's insane. You know, because those kind of dictators, like in Venezuela and all these other places, and Nicaragua, they just tighten their grip. They don't see the writing on the wall that maybe they should like give it to the people. I've seen it in schools, seen it in yeshivas, seen it here in Asia. I've seen it. It's everywhere. You either allow chaos to percolate its way up and teach leadership a little something about the next generation that's growing up in your organization, or you just are gonna, or the whole thing will collapse because God built chaos into creation. Not only we love dancing with it, and it's the spice of life, but he'll actually introduce it in the most orderly situations. There will be chaos there, and things will rot, and people will get hurt. Order is ruthless. There's no heart in order. Chaos is scary and magical. So I discuss it a lot when it comes to raising children. What time? I don't mind watch. 4 or 5? So I discuss this a lot when raising children, that you're the min of hell. You're the guy from hell because you're the father. You're the gal from hell because you're the mother. Is your mother not hell with all her unsolicited advice every time you speak to her? And is not your father hell with his unsolicited advice every time you speak to him? You're the hell. But there's such a thing as fathering from the God perspective, which is called melech. Melech is a name we use for God. We have many, many, many names for God, including all kinds of names of the God that runs the show. But the word melech is the one you're supposed to emulate while parenting. Because tell me, how does God, as King of the universe, like, can you breathe right now if God doesn't allow you? Can you move your head side to side if God doesn't allow you? Can you like do anything? So he's clearly the king, right? Except, have you noticed that the king just allows you to make a total mess of yourself? He'll just like help you ruin your life. You know, you want to do something wrong? What's God's answer? All right, let me help arrange that for you. And you ever notice he arranges that as well? Like, what kind of king is this? And the answer is, it's a serious king, heavy-duty king. You can't even walk without him helping you walk. He's spinning every atom in your body. He's in full control of all reality. Order is God's middle name. But he also knows that you're not going to get anywhere if you don't push some limits and get bruised and battered by life. Because then you get to know the edge of things. You start to understand the geography. You get the map. Now you know how you can work. And I promise you, if you overprotect your kids growing up, they're going to be scared of their own shadow. Because they don't know where the edge is. And you got them so freaked out that they could get hurt here, there, and everywhere, that they just never push anything. And so they never know where anything is. And so they wind up being overly ordered. It's like a well-trained dog. And they're just so scared that you don't even have to do anything for them anymore. They'll perfectly stop themselves from everything. Like, meaning you've done your job. You've already done your kids in by the time they're 10 if you played that game. Because your kids will self-govern from then on. And they'll amount to nothing. Kids will amount to nothing if you play that game because they'll never know where the edge is. So they don't know where to push. So they never know where to stop. And that's the work I'm doing. That's the seminar work is let's go find that edge. And let's see how our programming has stopped us. Because we're not Bitzel Kel. We're not in the cell of God. Who's like, this wildly expansive king. But we're in the shadow of our fears. It reminds me of there was a safety movie when we were little about buses. You remember we had safety movies when we were little? It says about the bus, to keep your hands inside. So it said, don't put your hand out too far or it might wind up in somebody else's car. Yeah. So I'm the guy sitting out the sunroof, playing airplane, you know, at 70 miles per hour. And you know, I'm not saying to do that, but that was me. And I'll tell you, in the end, you're watching me. I'm not watching you up here. You know, I'm the one that has people come to see him. And so was Steve Jobs. He didn't make it through school very well either. Yeah, and none of the other people were the movers and shakers, because the movers and shakers didn't spend too much time in the system. I left school when I was 11. The next classroom I was in was Asia Torah, 23 years old. This is where greatness comes from. It comes from chaos. Take some risks. Dance with it. Thank you very much.